Hi, my name is Dr. Brian Morse. I'm a resource scientist at Acadian Seaplants, and we're out here today to look at the condition of the resource on the seaweed bed. Our role in the company is to evaluate the status of the resource, and that allows the company to harvest sustainably because we know exactly what seaweed is out in the field and what condition it's in from year to year. And then we can advise the resource group of how much they can harvest each year so that we all work together to make sure that the seaweed is not over-harvested in any area where we are.
So we have to consider the habitat within this management. There has to be a balance between what the company needs and what the animals that are using this habitat also need. So that delicate balance requires a lot of measurement, and this is what we do.
We come to the field normally between May and October. This is the prime time where we're out harvesting, so we want to make sure we're out in that same area evaluating the resource. Also, this is the best growing time of year for the Ascophyllum, is in the summer when the water warms up. So it's the best time to evaluate the resource. So we'll plan to go out a little bit before the tide goes halfway down, and we'll go out and survey between 6 and 12 different sites in both New Brunswick and Nova Scotia. There's limits on the amount of seaweed that we can harvest. In New Brunswick, it's 17% of the biomass that's out in the field. So the only way that we know that we're harvesting the right amount is to go out and evaluate to make sure that total biomass is the same as what we thought it was initially. And if there's any natural things like ice damage or big storms, then we'll have to work together to ensure that the seaweed isn't over-harvested in those cases before it can recover. We always have predetermined bed in each area where we survey year after year. Once we arrive in an area, we'll use a 30-meter transect that will get laid out across the seaweed bed. And then in it, we'll do 10 quadrats where we measure seaweed length, biomass, and density of plant. So firstly, we'll go through and lay down the quadrat onto the transect, and then we'll measure 3 plants for length. After that, we'll take and cut the seaweed and weigh it to get a biomass. We want to ensure that we leave a certain length so that the seaweed has a good chance to regrow quickly. If you rip off the holdfast, the plant has now been erased and we'd have to wait for a new plant to settle before it can regrow. We then look at the number of holdfasts in the quadrat, and this will just give us density within the area. So we'll do a third of New Brunswick each year and a third of Nova Scotia. We primarily have 2 field teams, one in New Brunswick and one in Nova Scotia that go out. So we spend a lot of time out in the field. We have over 3,000 kilometers of shoreline that we survey. So all of our data is entered into ArcGIS online. This allows us to ensure that all of the data that we collect in the field is not lost, make sure it's of the highest quality. So at the end of each year, we have to provide a report to them showcasing all of the scientific work we did, all the surveys, any experiments we did. I enjoy being a resource scientist because I get to be here, out in the field, doing field science, getting to be out hands-on, doing experiments, doing surveys. Some days the conditions are difficult, but it's amazing out here.